Hey guys and girls, White Ninja here, back with some more Stardew Valley, and today we are going to cover something particular, something to do with Reddit actually. So ConcernedApe recently made a video made a Q&A where people could ask him information about the game and basically see see how he's got on with the game, how he likes the game, etc., and if he continues the game, what updates he's going to do, and things like that. So ConcernedApe made a Q&A where people ask him these questions, and he's answered. So what I'm going to do today is cover some of the major points that were made, and basically just talk about them and discuss them. So something totally different today, not my usual usual guide video, more just information for anyone who actually missed the Reddit post itself or the Q&A. So definitely worth going over. So as I do this, I'm just going to do my usual day-to-day stuff in the farm, something that I don't normally show you guys. Normally it's rounded criteria, so you'll get to see how my farm's run and stuff like that, so that might be interesting for you guys. So some of the first things that were asked was about some of the content in the game and about if things are going to get added and things like that. So stuff like aquariums, so with fish access and things like that, to be able to keep fish and stuff like that. So under the aquarium, he has said he doesn't know yet. He's not 100% sure. However, people have actually been saying to him, or a lot of people are saying that they would love to have stuff like that as upgrades. So he has said he will consider it in future developments. However, he's not 100% sure yet, so this is only a potential. So that's a maybe in there. Anyway, guys. So that's something. Another one that about upgrades and things like that was people were asking about house upgrades, asking if people will be able to develop stuff like basements and things like that. With the access of only having 2 house upgrades, obviously this can some people can get this pretty quickly. So they have asked about basements, or in this case a shed, shed upgrade. So he's actually said that either this or shed building that is empty, so you can do whatever you want with. So he said potentially this is going to be something that they are going to look into, and he will be developing stuff like house upgrades into a further stage. So that's actually pretty good news. That means you can do something extra. So it's probably going to be a bit like a greenhouse, I think, but you just have more flexibility to do whatever you want, which is always nice. So that's something to look into, or look forward to anyway. That's for sure. And next one was about your cat or your dog, depending on what you chose as part of your selection. So they've asked basically, will the cat or dog do anything else rather than just nothing, really? So what he said on this is that the cat and dogs weren't actually meant to do anything. The whole point of the cats and dogs in this scenario was just to be a bit more pleasing to the user and stuff like that, meaning that they just run around and just make it look good until you start getting stuff like cows and chickens, which you can interact with and actually do things with. So what he said is, let's see, my original purpose of the Perps was to add life to the farm. However, he says, I'll try and think of ways to make them more interesting without straying too far from the original purpose. So basically what he's saying here is, yes, he might upgrade them into doing something on your farm or being a bit more interactive, I don't know, play catch or whatever, but like he said, he wants to keep them as original as possible and not go too astray with that anyway. So another question, or quite a good question actually, was do you think that the secrets in the game, all the secrets in the game, will ever be found? Now, I think that's a pretty good question. There is a lot of secrets in this game. I am just in the process of finding 3 myself actually. I need to get a special recipe, but once I've done that, I'll be uploading the video to show you some of them secrets. But what he's said on that is no and yes. He says I'll just quickly read it. He says, possibly the secrets that can be discovered by data mining the compiled code will be found. He thinks there are others that can be found in the way, but which are nice, but won't surprise if people figure them all out eventually. Of course, new secrets could always be added. So this gives the possibility of endless secrets. Oh god, like people will. Is that even the right guy? People will find the secrets because no doubt they'll look through the code, but there is a good chance that people won't find all of them due to new ones being added. So that's always good to know. Actually, I think this is the guy, isn't it? Sweet. There you go. So that's that anyway. The next question that was asked was, can we move barns and coops in the future? He just pretty much said yes for that. He said yes, probably. So that is a big positive, because I messed mine up and put mine in the wrong place, which has resulted in me considering getting rid of them, just so I can replace them somewhere else, because they are an absolute pain where they are, just because the way I've got it all structured. So I'm going to change mine, so I'm actually glad for this. So I potentially might wait for an update, but then again I do have quite a lot of money, and I can easily farm the hardwood that's needed for this to be able to actually get the new one, so I'm not too bothered about that one itself. But this is a change that might or could probably come in, so something to look forward to anyway. So the next question was it's asking about if it's going to develop extra games and things like that. The guy who said this, and he said yes. He said he's got some ideas for it. However, he's going to keep them secret. So if people are looking for extra games like this, he said he is potentially going to make some, but for now they are kept secret, so we don't actually know what they are. But he said he would keep them in a 2D universe, a little bit like this game. So that's his idea on that. Okay, so obviously people have been asking about marrying Shane in the game. So for anyone who wants to marry Shane in the game, he says he said not much. He said it was basically already on the Shane train, so he's gonna implement that at some point in the game to be able to do this. So whenever the next patch comes out, or big patch, I'm guessing this is what he's planning to do for that. The next one he has is when will the Marnie and Lewis romance happen? Now, for those who don't know, it actually can happen, but what he said is he's put the same idea as Kent's so lost event. So basically what happens is you'll either get one or the other event. So if you have one event, you don't get the other. So he has changed that, so you should be able to in the next patch you will have changed that, so you will be able to do it. So the community has obviously helped him out there where he's missed something, so that's pretty good. So hopefully you'll be able to see the Lewis and Marnie getting it on. So that's something you got to look forward to, especially after all the tension and the things like that, especially in the Mayor shorts. Naughty Mayor. Let's see. So they've asked what patches or what might come into the next patch, like what features and things like that might come into the next patch. So he has said that possibly adding things like some extra marriage candidates. I'm guessing one of them's probably going to be Shane. Not sure who the other one would be though, because aren't most of them already married anyway? But yeah, possibly another a male and female, he said. So one male, one female, so I'm guessing the male's going to be Shane. He said he's looking into crops, developing more crops in the game, something like coffee, definitely adding or potentially adding more expensive buildings and stuff that you can buy, more character development cutscenes, possibly more variety in mines, and just general improvements to many things that's been bugging him. So if there's bugs in the game itself, then he'll change them, but anything in particular as well he might change as well, just to be able to make it a bit more fluid and better as an outcome. So that's something that he's going to be looking into. The next one So people have asked about if it's going to be on different platforms, like if the game will be run on different platforms. Now the answer he said was yes. However, he also said he doesn't expect it to come to mobile, just for the simple fact that mobile platform, just for the simple fact that he doesn't think it'll work too well. So basically he's going to I'm guessing he's going to try and get it to all the other platforms, just to keep it away from mobile, or at least for now anyway. So that's something quite interesting to say the least. People have asked, will there be more areas to visit? So things like the desert and the sewers and stuff like that. He said yes, possibly. However, he's not decided just yet, but he said he might add new areas and expand areas out, such as making the sewers bigger and making them more interactive rather than just having one space, which I think is pretty cool actually, because that is something that's quite unique in the game. So especially when they're like secret areas and there's only like a tiny little bit to go to, it's a bit shit to be honest. So there's a big thing about extensive slime breeding, pedigree slime. So for those who actually don't know, there is actually certain contexts where you can breed slimes in certain ways and you actually get a better outcome, or different slimes. So you can actually, for those who didn't know, you can actually farm iridium slimes. So I've only recently found this out myself, so that's why it wasn't in my last iridium video. However, there is a certain way to breed them. So I am going to have to look into this and work out actually what it is. But he said there is a possibility that he will add some more context to slimes, but at the moment it's just as it is. So these slimes are obviously, as you can see, use an incubator and stuff like that and generate slimes. So I have my slime farm, but I only have green slimes, so once I get a red slime it could possibly turn into some potentials. Now I do have red slimes there, but as you can see I can't get in because the slimes are blocking my way, and they'll probably kill me. So because red slimes do a lot of damage. Come on, run. There we go. So this is something that is he said he potentially could change and update in the future. Come on, run. There we go. So later on, obviously, change that and then breed them and stuff like that, and develop them further and further. He's also put in. People have asked about DLC content and will he be adding DLC content into the game? What he's said for now is that it's something he might think of doing. However, what he's said is at the moment, or at this moment in time, he does only plan on just adding free content into the game, or he plans on he wants to release at least some free content updates for everyone, especially stuff like multiplayer, which he will be adding into the game at some point. However, he said he's not sure about DLC. He said he might do it, he might not do it. It just depends. He's sort of happy. He's just happy that everyone's enjoying his game, to be honest. So he said just adding free content into the game is a big thing for him at the minute, and just getting everyone to enjoy it a bit more, which is pretty good, to be honest. I quite like that concept that he's come up with, so I can't really complain about that. And yeah, that's about it really. There's one about Linux port, if any, stuff like that, but like I said, it very possibly could get updated on there soon. But yeah, so apart from that, that's pretty much the Q&As from ConcernedApe, where people have asked him questions about potential updates and future events in the game. Definitely some interesting stuff like multiplayer and things like that, where he said he's obviously going to be adding multiplayer and things into the game. So that's good, and obviously some future events. So I can't wait for updates to come out for this game. I think they'll be brilliant, and obviously I'll make videos on them covering what updates have come out and what patches and things like that. Obviously on the mini patches and just general updates, I'm not going to cover them because a lot of them don't really affect the game too heavily, so that's not really a big problem. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, something a little bit different. Just going through the patch notes and the questions, really. Oh, sorry, not the patch notes, the Q&A, and basically what's to come of the future of Stardew Valley. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time for some more Stardew Valley.